The king was ambushed. My husband, the captain of the royal guard, was busy placating his childhood sweetheart who had stormed off in a fit of pique. I did not light the signal flare in my hand. Instead, I stood before the king, my belly swollen with child, and became his human shield. I made this choice because, in my previous life, I had lit that flare. My husband had abandoned his precious Alara to rush to the king's side. He was hailed as a hero, named Lord Protector of the Realm for his valor. But Alara, left alone, fell into the assassin's trap and was killed on the spot. My husband said nothing at the time, but on the day I gave birth, he threw me into the beast pit. As the creatures closed in, I screamed at him, demanding to know why. He gave me a single, cold glance. The king has a legion of guards. Why did I, and only I, have to return? It must be that you, with your eyes only for power and wealth, deliberately summoned me. If you hadn't lit that flare, would Alara have died? The suffering she endured, I will make you repay it, tenfold. The beasts tore me apart, devouring even the newborn child from my womb. When I opened my eyes again, I was back on the day of the king's assassination. Protect the king. The black-clad assassins moved with deadly precision. I took a reflexive step back. I was truly reborn, and it was right at the beginning. My eyes fell to the signal flare clutched in my hand. While no one was watching, I hurled it into a nearby lake. Then, with all my strength, I threw myself in front of the king, who was locked in a desperate struggle with the attackers. I saw the shock in his eyes as I became his shield, absorbing blow after brutal blow meant for him. I watched as the confusion in his gaze slowly gave way to disbelief, then to a dawning sense of awe. I knew, in that moment, that my gamble had paid off. My husband, Lord Valerius, was the captain of the royal guard. He was meant to be by the king's side at all times. Yet today, with the king's life in peril, he was absent. He was chasing after his pouting first love, Lady Alara. In my last life, I had lit the flare, fearing he would be reprimanded for his absence. Instead, after being showered with titles and honors, he decided I was a power-hungry shrew who had orchestrated Alara's death. He had me thrown into a pit of wild beasts he had prepared just for me, a final, gruesome end for me and my child. Since the heavens had granted me a second chance, I would not walk that same path to ruin. I shielded the king with my life. Blades plunged into my body, but I gritted my teeth and refused to make a sound. The king had other guards nearby. If I could just hold on until reinforcements arrived, I would live. The king understood this. Though it pained him, he took shelter behind me. The assassins, realizing my intent, exchanged a look. Then, one of them drove his sword deep into my abdomen. My child. I was 8 months pregnant. I felt him move within me every day. In my last life, just before the end, I could have sworn I heard him cry. This single blade felt more agonizing than being torn apart by 100 beasts. A raw scream tore from my throat. My vision swam with red. I felt their killing intent focus on me, the final blow about to fall. A sharp, tearing pain radiated from my core, different from the agony of my first death. I felt something precious, something vital, slipping away from me. I reached out, but my hand only found the king's blood-soaked tunic. The thunder of approaching footsteps. I heard the king's frantic roar. Healers! Where are the royal healers? Whose lady is this? Someone, attend to her. I opened my mouth, but only blood came out, spilling in crimson waves. The king knelt beside me, heedless of the gore. With the last of my strength, I forced out the words. I am the wife of the captain of the royal guard, Lord Valerius. After speaking, I felt myself slipping into darkness, but a sharp prick from a healer's needle jolted me back. My lady, you cannot sleep, he urged, wiping sweat from his brow. If you sleep now, you may never wake. Think of your husband, your child. They are waiting for you. The king's voice joined his. Yes, that's right. You have saved the crown. When you recover, I shall name you Lady Protector of the Realm, and you will want for nothing. And your child, if it is a girl, she shall be betrothed to my son, the prince. If a boy, he will be granted a great title.